You know that feeling when someone just seems to handle challenges really well?
Yeah.
Learn new things fast, bounce back from setbacks like it's no big deal.
Yeah, or maybe the opposite. That feeling when you hit a wall and just feel, well, stuck.
Exactly. And that difference, it feels like it's about something internal, right?
That's what we're exploring today, that internal compass, how we react to things, to ourselves.
Right. It's not just about, luck or talent you're born with.
Yeah.
It seems to be about the lens you use to see your own abilities, your potential. So today we're doing a deep dive into that very lens, your mindset.
And our mission here really is to get beyond just defining it. We want to explore how profoundly your mindset affects pretty much everything.
Everything, like learning, health.
Yeah, learning, health, relationships. And we want to pinpoint those common traps that can hold us back.
Okay.
And most importantly, give you some tangible, science-backed ways to maybe cultivate a mindset that serves you better.
Great. So by the end of this, you'll have concrete actions you can actually start using.
Yeah.
Today.
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, let's jump in. So mindset. It's a word you hear thrown around a lot, often connected with psychologist Carol Dweck.
That's right. Her work is foundational here.
But when we talk about mindset in this context, what are we really talking about? What's the core idea?
Well, at its heart, mindset is basically a collection of beliefs. Beliefs you hold about your own traits, your intelligence, maybe your talents, your personality. It's kind of the framework you use to interpret experiences, especially the tough ones, like challenges and failures.
And Dweck's research really focused on two main types, didn't it? The fixed mindset and the growth mindset.
Exactly. Those are her terms.
Can you maybe walk it through the difference, the crucial difference between those two?
Absolutely. So the fixed mindset that comes from believing that your basic qualities, like how smart you are or your artistic ability, are just fixed traits.
Set in stone.
Kind of, yeah. You have a certain amount, and then that's pretty much it. And this belief, well, it can lead people to avoid challenges.
What?
Because they're afraid of revealing what they see as inherent limitations. They might give up easily if something gets hard.
Because the difficulty proves they can't do it.
Precisely. They see it as proof they just aren't good enough. And effort. It feels kind of pointless if you think your ability is static anyway.
Right. Why bother trying harder if the outcome's already decided by something you can't change?
Exactly. Now, the growth mindset, that's the counterpoint. It's the belief that your most basic abilities can be developed through dedication, through hard work.
So brains and talent aren't the end of the story.
Not at all. They're just the starting point. This mindset emphasizes that effort, trying different strategies, persistence that's key to growth.
Okay.
So people with this mindset, they're more likely to actually embrace challenges, see them as chances to learn. They persist through setbacks. They see effort as, the path to getting better, to mastery.
And there's some pretty solid evidence backing this up, showing how big a difference this makes.
Oh, absolutely. Dweck's own research, like her well-known 2007 study, showed this really clearly.
What did it find?
Well, students who approached their schoolwork with a growth mindset, they significantly outperformed the students with a fixed mindset over time.
Interesting.
And it wasn't really about who was smarter at the start. It was about who believed they could get smarter through effort, through learning.
Wow.
That belief fueled the actions, you see, which led to the better results.
Okay, here's where I think it gets really interesting. This whole internal framework, this mindset, it's not just about school or work performance, is it?
Not at all. That's a crucial point. Your mindset subtly but really powerfully works its way into all parts of your life.
Like what?
Well, your relationships for sure, your mental well-being, and maybe, surprisingly to some, even your physical health.
Physical health. Now that feels like a big leap. How does mindset connect to physical health?
It is a big connection, but the research supports it. For instance, work from Stanford has shown that individuals who have a more positive, growth-oriented view of stress itself.
Wait, a positive view of stress?
Yeah, seeing it as potentially enhancing, something that can help you rise to a challenge rather than just purely debilitating. Those people experience better physical health outcomes.
Like what?
Like lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. Their mindset about the stress literally changed their body's biological response to it.
Wow. So thinking differently about stress can actually change your biology.
It seems so. And think about this. There was a striking study from Yale University back in 2012.
Right.
They looked at how people's beliefs about aging itself affected how long they lived.
Their beliefs about getting older.
Yeah. And they found that the individuals who held positive attitudes towards aging lived, on average, 7.5 years longer than those who had negative views.
7.5 years, just based on their belief.
That's what the study found.
That's just incredible proof, isn't it? That our thoughts aren't just floating around in our heads. They actually show up in our physical reality.
They absolutely do. I mean, think about it. Our mindset shapes our choices, how resilient we are, our stress response. All those things have real, tangible, physical consequences over the long haul.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine two people facing the exact same setback, maybe a layoff from work.
Okay.
Person one thinks, I'm a failure. I'm never going to find anything this good again. That's kind of fixed thinking.
Right.
Person two thinks, okay, this is rough, a real setback. But maybe it's also a chance to reassess, maybe learn some new skills. That's more growth-oriented.
And the outcomes would be totally different.
Totally different. The first person likely gets discouraged, maybe stops trying as hard. The second is already thinking about the next step, learning, adapting. Same event, but the mindset changes everything that follows.
Okay, so if this internal lens, this mindset is so critical, what are some of the common ways we get stuck? What are those patterns that keep us in a fixed mindset trap?
Yeah, there are definitely some recurring ones. The first one, and it can be really sneaky, is negative self-talk.
Ah, the inner critic. We all know that voice, right?
Exactly. Those loops playing in your head saying things like, I'm just not good at this, or I'm terrible at math, or I'll never change. These aren't just, harmless thoughts floating by. They actively reinforce that belief that your abilities are static, limited. You're basically programming yourself for a fixed mindset.
And I guess, especially now, another trap must be almost impossible to avoid.
Comparison, absolutely. Yeah. With social media showing everyone's curated highlight reel.
Right. Only the wins.
Exactly. So constantly comparing yourself to others, their achievements, what looks like their inherent talent, it just fuels feelings of inadequacy. You feel behind, discouraged, and it makes you lose sight of your own path. Your own growth journey, which isn't supposed to be a race against anybody else.
It's so easy to fall into thinking everyone else just, woke up brilliant or successful.
Totally. And another huge hurdle for a lot of people, fear of failure.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It really is. Because in a fixed mindset, failing feels like definitive proof of your limits. It's like your inner critic saying, see, told you, you weren't good enough.
So you avoid anything where you might fail.
Exactly. That fear makes people avoid challenges, stick only to what they know they can do well. They pass up chances to learn and grow just because they can't risk that feeling, that proof of being inadequate.
But like you said earlier, failure doesn't have to be seen that way.
Right. It's not a final verdict. It's just information. It's feedback. Feedback on your strategy, maybe, or the effort you put in that specific time. It's not about who you are fundamentally.
Failure as feedback. I really like that framing. And it's good to remember that none of these traps mean you're stuck forever, right? Mindset isn't like a life sentence.
No, not at all. That's the key message of the growth mindset itself. It's something you can actively shape.
It's a muscle you can build.
Exactly. You can strengthen it.
All right, let's get to the good stuff then. How do we actually do that? Based on the research, what are some, science-backed ways we can build a stronger growth mindset?
Yeah.
Let's unpack this. What's step number one?
Okay. Step one is about how you frame things. Specifically, reframe challenges.
Reframe challenges. How?
Instead of seeing a difficult task or maybe a setback as something bad, something to avoid, or as proof you're not capable, consciously choose to see it as an opportunity.
An opportunity for what?
An opportunity to learn something new, to stretch your abilities, to figure out different strategies. And neuroscience actually backs this up.
Really? How?
Well, the simple act of changing how you interpret an event actually starts to lay down new neural pathways in your brain. Over time, you're essentially rewiring your brain to be more resilient, to seek out growth.
So it's not just positive thinking. You're literally changing your brain chemistry.
To some extent, yes. It's powerful stuff.
Okay, powerful. What's step number two?
Step two is remarkably simple, but incredibly effective. Use the word yet.
Yet. Just add yet.
Yes, add yet. That simple three-letter word. So when you catch yourself thinking or saying, I can't do this, or I don't understand this, just add yet to the end.
I can't do this yet. I don't understand this yet.
Exactly. That simple shift Linguistically, it changes everything. It implies your current state isn't permanent. It signals you're on a learning curve. That improvement is possible with time and effort. And Dweck's studies, they actually showed students' performance improved dramatically when they just learned to add yet, when they were struggling with tasks.
Wow, it shifted from being about who you are to where you are on the journey.
Perfectly put, yeah.
That's brilliant. Okay, and step number 3.
Step 3 is about where you put your focus. Focus on and praise the effort, the strategies used, and the persistence shown, rather than just the final result or innate talent.
So focus on the process, not just the outcome.
Exactly. And this applies both to how you talk to yourself and how you encourage others, maybe your kids or your team. When you focus on the process, like the hard work someone put in, the different approaches they tried, the sheer determination when things got tough, you reinforce the belief that getting better comes from actions, from learning, from adapting.
Not just from being smart or talented.
Right. It builds that foundation, that understanding that how you approach things matters immensely. It encourages future effort and learning.
So celebrating the struggle, the smart strategy, the trying again. Not just the A+ or the finished project.
You got it. The process is the path. And actually, a quick bonus tip on this.
Oh, yeah.
Mindset can be kind of contagious.
How so?
Well, actively seek out and spend time with people who have growth mindsets. Their belief in potential, their way of handling setbacks, their enthusiasm for learning. It can genuinely rub off on you. Surround yourself with that energy.
That makes sense. Okay, let's try and ground this a bit more. Is there a real-life story or example that really embodies this whole growth mindset idea?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the classic example people often use is Thomas Edison.
The light bulb guy.
The light bulb guy. We all know the outcome, the working light bulb.
Yeah.
But it's the journey there that's just a masterclass in growth mindset. He famously failed thousands of times trying to get it right.
I mean, from a fixed mindset perspective, that's thousands of proofs that he should just quit.
Yeah.
That he wasn't cut out for inventing light bulbs.
Exactly. Can you imagine? But Edison just didn't see it like that at all. He completely embodied the growth mindset. You know his famous quote?
Rely me.
He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work."
10,000 ways. Wow. That is pure, undiluted growth mindset right there.
Sure.
He wasn't failing. He was gathering data.
He was learning. Each attempt, whether it worked or not, was just forward progress. It was helping him understand the problem better. Failure was just feedback. And you see this today too, right? Look at modern innovators. Entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, maybe creatives like Oprah Winfrey, they often talk about their biggest failures.
Yep, they don't hide them.
No. They talk about how those failures weren't actually roadblocks, but they were essential detours. They provided critical lessons, maybe redirection, that was absolutely necessary for their eventual success.
So it really does seem to boil down to a kind of formula, doesn't it? Success isn't just about luck or being born gifted.
It seems to be more like mindset plus effort plus time.
Mindset plus effort plus time. I like that.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it feels pretty clear, doesn't it? While mindset isn't some magic wand for every single challenge, its influence is just incredibly profound. It shapes how we learn, how we tackle difficulties, how we connect with people, and fundamentally whether we see ourselves as sort of defined by limits or full of potential for growth.
So maybe a good takeaway for you listening is to just take a moment, sometime later today perhaps, and gently observe yourself. Like, where in your life do you notice yourself kind of defaulting to that fixed way of thinking? And maybe where are you already leaning into growth? And then thinking about those simple strategies we talked about, reframing challenges, using yet, focusing on effort.
Yeah.
What's maybe one tiny shift you could experiment with just today?
Yeah, just one small thing. And remember, nurturing your mindset today, it isn't just about feeling better right now or improving one skill.
It's bigger than that.
I think so. It's a really powerful act of actively participating in designing the very person you're becoming. One thought, one effort, one yet at a time.